Hello, are you ready to learn for today? What you will learn for today is all about deriving quadratic function given its zeros or roots. So the difference of this lesson from our previous lesson is that wala tayong given a graph for the examples later, but rather just the values of the zeros or the roots of our given quadratic function. So just to start, let's have this recall. So we have x-intercept roots or zeros. So once again, the x-intercept is also called as zeros or roots of the function. So itong tatlong words na to is magkakapares lang. So these are the values of x when y is equal to 0. So as you recall before, di ba, in a Cartesian plane wherein you'll be having the parabola or the graph of a quadratic function, this is called the x-intercept, the zeros, or the roots. These are the points wherein our y is equal to 0. So as we remember, this is x sub 1, 0, and this is x sub 2, 0. So these are the points where your y are equal to 0. So to find the roots of a quadratic function, we have to set our y to 0. Thus, our general form y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c will be 0 is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So kung titingnan nyo, just to get the roots, we have to set the y to 0. So using the symmetric property, we can fix this one and make it ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, which is actually our quadratic equation standard form. So we'll use solving quadratic equation to solve for the roots of a quadratic function. And just to elaborate on that, let's have some examples. So the instruction says find the roots of the following quadratic function. So example number 1, we have the given y is equal to x squared minus 5x plus 6. So ano yung pwede natin gawin sa una? So we have to set our y to 0 kasi nga kailangan natin mahanap yung x-intercept o yung roots ng itong quadratic function na to. So using symmetric property, we'll try to make it a quadratic equation that looks like x squared minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0. So from this, gagamit tayo ng factoring para malaman yung factors nitong quadratic equation na to. So ano ngayon yung dalawang numbers that if we try to multiply, we'll be having a product of positive 6 and a sum of negative 5. So the clue here is that 6 is positive. So and the sum is negative. That means both of the factors will be negative kasi negative times negative magiging positive. But if you add those two negative, magiging negative 5 siya dapat. So alam natin na negative sila pareho. So we can set both of these as x minus times x minus. Yung number na lang yung kulang natin. So um, pwede kaya yung 1 times 6, negative 1 times negative 6 is positive 6. But negative 1 plus negative 6 is not negative 5. So I think we'll have to have the factors that is negative 2 and negative 3. If you multiply these two factors, the answer is positive 6. And if you add them, the answer is negative 5. So yan yung idea natin ng factoring. And we got the factors x minus 2 times x minus 3. So from that, we'll try to solve for the two values of x by separating them. So we have two equations now. X minus 2 is equal to 0 and x minus 3 is equal to 0. So having that, we can add 2 on this left equation. We can add 2 for both sides, making this one 0. And may iwan na lang dito si x. Then 0 plus 2 is positive 2. Therefore, the value or one value of x is 2. And from this side, we can add 3 for both sides, making this one equal to 0. Therefore, our x in this equation will be equal to 3 because 0 plus 3 is 3. Having that says we have two roots on this given quadratic function. So the first root is 2 and the second root is 3. Next, so let's try to have another example for this one. So, what if we're given with the quadratic function y is equal to x squared plus 7x minus 18? So, ganun pa rin yung process. The first step is to make your y be equal to 0. And after that, we have to make it the same as the standard form of our quadratic equation. So, lipat lang natin yung 0 sa kabila. So, ganyan lang magiging itsura niya. Then, right after that, we can do solving of quadratic equation by factoring. So, hanap ulit tayo ng factors na may product na negative 18 and may sum na positive 7. So, since yung C natin is negative, we can identify that the factors will be having one that is positive and one that is negative. Tapos, ang isa pang clue dyan is yung sum natin is positive. So, yung mas malaking factor natin dito is positive. So, ano kaya yung dalawang number if we multiply? The answer is negative 18. So, we can have the factors 2 and 9. So, 2 times 9 is 18. Ang tanong na lang, sino dun yung positive, sino dun yung negative. Since 7 is positive, mas malaki si 9, kaya siya yung magiging positive and dito si 2. 'Di ba? 9 minus 2, positive 7. Pasok siya. So our factors now will be x plus 9 times x minus 2. Then, to get the roots, all we need to do is to have these two equations separating x plus 9 equal to 0 and x minus 2 is equal to 0. Ito yung tinatawag natin na zero product property if you still remember. So, yan. So, by that, on this side, we can subtract 9 for both sides. Yan. So, 9. So, this one will become 0. Therefore, x here will be equal to negative 9. Next, if we add 2 naman for both sides, on this equation, we can have this one as 0. Therefore, x is equal to positive 2 on this side. So once again, we will have two roots on this quadratic function. The first root is negative 9 and the second root is positive 2. And that's how we find or solve the roots of the following quadratic function. Okay, right now we are ready to derive the quadratic function given its zeros or roots. So the process of solving the roots can be reversed to find a quadratic function if the roots are given. So in general, if the roots are named as R1 and R2, we can express the quadratic function as, for example, so this is the quadratic equation having the factors R sub 1 and R sub 2 or the roots of this quadratic equation. Next, we can use symmetric property. So, ni-reverse ko lang yung kanina kasi ito yung nauna. So, pwede na natin siya ibalik dun sa unahan. And having the quadratic function, we can set that 0 to y. So, this is now our working formula to come up with the quadratic function given the roots. As we continue, let's have these following examples para mas maintindihan natin kung paano natin ito magagamit. So let's have example number 1. The instruction says determine the quadratic function in the form y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c whose roots or zeros are. So in example number 1, we have the roots that is 2 and 3. So to answer this one, first, yan. So we have to identify which one is R1 and R2. Or it's up to you. So you can reverse or follow the given as well. So we can just set 1 as R1 and R2 will be positive 3. Next is we have to come up with, we have to show this equation para alam natin kung ano yung susundan natin. So papalitan lang natin itong R sub 1 and R sub 2 nung given natin sa taas. So, from there, we can replace R1 with 2 and R sub 2 as 3. So, ganun lang siya kasimple. So, from that, we can now solve for the equation of the quadratic function by, let me just rewrite this one. So, we have y is equal to x minus 2 times x minus 3. So, gagamit lang tayo ng FOIL para ma-solve to. So, let's just copy y. Therefore, we'll be having x times x. So, we have x squared x times negative 3, so we have negative 3x, negative 2 times x, so we have negative 2x, negative 2 times negative 3, ang sagot dyan ay positive 6. So, our answer will be simplified first. So, magiging y is equal to x squared. In this case, pwede natin tong i-combine because they are similar terms. So, you have negative 3x minus 2x. So, para lang yan, negative 3 minus 2. That will become negative 5x. So, ito yung magiging sagot dyan. Next, we'll just copy positive 6 or plus 6. So, in that case, the answer for this example is the quadratic function y is equal to x squared minus 5x plus 6. Gets po? Okay, let's continue with this second example. So what if the given roots or zeros will be 2 and negative 9? So we have to follow the same process. So lagay lang ulit natin dito, R1 or the first root is 2, the second root is negative 9. So sulat lang natin dyan. Next, ito yung working formula ulit natin na dinerive natin kanina. So we just need to replace or substitute R1 and R2 on this part. So R1 is positive 2 and R sub 2 is negative 9. So sulat natin ang buo negative 9 kahit may minus pa dyan. Huwag kayong malilito. Next, so rewrite lang natin y is equal to x minus 2. Then, kung mapapansin nyo dito, minus negative 9. So, we can set this one as plus already. So, it will become x plus 9. So, from there, once again, we'll just need to do FOIL. So, x times x, yan. Sulat muna natin to, y is equal to x times x is x squared. Then, x times positive 9 is plus 9x. Then, negative 2 times x will be negative 2x. Then, negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. So, let's just furtherly simplify this one. So, copyin lang natin sa x squared. Then, we can combine 9x minus 2x will be having positive 7x minus 18. So, ito yung naging sagot doon. Now, our final answer will be y is equal to x squared plus 7x minus 18. So, kung mapapansin ninyo, ito lang din yung sagot doon sa una nating example sa recall. So, okay, let's have more examples. So we have here example number 3. So same instruction, but the given is the roots that is 4 and 3 over 2. So may fraction na tayo na roots. So tingnan natin. So ganun pa rin naman yung step. We have to follow that. We just need to write the first root as R1 and the second root as 3 over 2. Same process. Next, we just need to substitute that R1 and R2 to our working formula. Yan, then so we'll be having x minus 4 because R1 is 4 and R2 is 3 halves. So we'll just make this one 3 over 2 or 3 halves. And so from there, we just need to simplify this one. Yan, so ang mangyayari, rewrite lang ulit natin siya. But in this case, imbis now x minus 3 over 2 siya, so magiging 2x minus 3 siya. So bakit ganon? So this 2x minus 3 is actually the same as x minus 3 over 2. So, kasi, kung i-equate natin siya sa 0, yan, add 3 for both sides, ito magiging 0. So, it will become 2x minus 3. Then, divide 2 for both sides, ito ay magiging 1. Therefore, x is equal to positive 3 over 2, which is the same as this root. So, ang technique dyan is, ilagay mo na lang tong 2 na nasa denominator sa tabi ni x. So, magiging 2x minus 3 siya. So, yan yung shortcut kapag mayroon kang roots na fraction. So, in this case, ganun pa rin yung process. Since we already have the factors, all we need to do is to expand this one using FOIL. So, copy muna natin to, y is equal to x times 2x. So, now we have 2x squared. Then, x times negative 3. Therefore, we have negative 3x. Then, negative 4 times 2x magiging negative 8x. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. Then, after that, simplify pa natin siya. We can copy this positive 2x squared then. Add natin to or combine natin to. Negative 3x minus 8x. This will be negative 11x. Parang yan, negative 3 minus 8. then copy plus 12. So ito yung naging sagot nung pinag-combine natin sila. Therefore, our final answer will be y is equal to 2x squared minus 11x plus 12. So wala naman palang problema kahit magkaroon tayo ng roots na fraction. Okay, let's continue with example number 4. So we have the given 1/4 and 3/4. Yan, dalawa na silang roots na fraction. But we have to follow the same step. So first, identify the roots. We have 1/4 and 3/4 or 3 over 4. Next, we just need to follow this one by replacing r sub 1 as 1/4 and r sub 2 as 3 over 4 or 3/4. Now, after this one, yung ginagawa natin is shortcut na natin. Hindi ko na siya explain kung bakit magiging ganun kasi na-explain ko na siya dito sa example number 3. So, ang gagawin natin, itong 4, ililipat lang natin sa tabi ni x. So, magiging 4x. Then, matitira yung numerator. So, this will become minus 1. Next, itong 4 na to, lipat natin siya sa tabi ng x. So, it will become 4x. Then, ang matitira dito is negative 3 or minus 3. So, ayan lang siya. Then, after that, we can just simplify this one by expanding it and making it the general form. So, 4x times 4x, this will become 16. And 16x squared. Then 4x times negative 3, this will become negative 12x. Then negative 1 times positive 4x, this will become negative 4x. Then negative 1 times negative 3, this will become positive 3. Now, we can furtherly simplify this one by combining the similar terms. So, copy lang natin to. Y is equal to 16x squared. Then, combine natin si negative 12x and negative 4x, making it negative 16x. Then, copy plus 3. So, ito yung naging sagot nung kinumbine natin sila. So, the answer now will now be y is equal to 16x squared minus 16 plus 3. So, yan yung naging sagot natin. I hope you understand the lesson for today. Until next time, bye!